according as his divine power hath given unto us all things that pertain unto life and godliness, to the knowledge of him that hath called us to glory and virtue, whereby are given unto us exceeding great and precious promises, that by these ye might be partakers of the divine nature, having escaped the corruption that is in the world through lust. And besides this, giving all diligence, and to your faith virtue, and to virtue knowledge, and to knowledge temperance, and to temperance patience, and to patience godliness, and to godliness brotherly kindness, and to brotherly kindness charity. For if these things be in you and abound, they make you that ye shall neither be barren nor unfruitful in the knowledge of our Lord. Yahawashi. But he that lacketh these things is blind, and cannot see afar off, and hath forgotten that he was purged from his own sins. Wherefore, rather, brethren, give diligence to make your calling and election sure. For if ye do these things, ye shall never fall. For so an entrance shall be ministered unto you abundantly into the everlasting kingdom of our Lord and Savior Yahawashi. Wherefore, I do not think negligent to talk you always in remembrance of these things, for ye know them and be established in the present truth.
Another thing about us, those of us that are in this truth, that understand this truth, we are men of vision. We are men of vision, outer vision and inner vision. Inner vision is the most important part, the ability to see future. Okay? Remember, the prophets were called what? They were called seers. The word seer means a visionary. We're able to see into the future, man. We do see that one day this planet Earth is going to be ruled in righteousness, pursuant to 2 Peter 3:13. We're going to see a pristine planet Earth. All right, it's going to go back to how it was during the time of the Garden of Eden, even better than the Garden of Eden, which the Garden of Eden, the word Eden is from the Hebrew Idan, which means joy or paradise. The joy and paradise of the Heavenly Father is the earth. He created the earth to be a joy and a paradise. Now the Garden of Eden was Palestine. He chose the land, Israel. That is the Garden of Eden. Okay, so once again, this earth, after all this hell is passed, after the storm is passed, this earth is going to once again be the Garden of Eden, like it's supposed to be. And we're looking forward to that. Again, 2 Peter 3:13, we look for the new heavens and the new earth. New heavens being new rulership, new earth, meaning the earth will be rejuvenated based upon the word new from the Greek kindness. The earth will be rejuvenated and it's going to be in righteousness. That's what we look for.
Shalom to elective Israel, to the hope elected Israel, you Hebrew Israelites, so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native American, West Indian, Haitians, and foreign Israelites that look like the other nations scattered across the four corners of the earth. First and foremost, I want to give all praise to Barak, Yahawah, Barak, Yahawashi. Gotta give all praises to Yahawah, Bahasham, Bahasham, Qadash. We give double honors to the elders and apostles who break millstones, let me to the truth. Been ordained by the Lord to teach the flock how to live, repent, pray, fast, and show forth the Lord's righteousness and mercy, judgment, forgiveness, and wrath to all those who are party elect, to the hope for elect. Lord willing, be part of that number. Lord willing, to be edified and those who fear the name of the Lord and strive to show forth the Lord's righteousness every day to the best of their abilities. The judgment always comes to light. 7 9, chapter 3, verse 5. It is not slack. 2 Peter chapter 3, verse 9. It is unto a green. 2 Peter chapter 5, verse 42. Water for tuning in. Y'all about to know Atham and all the brothers out there, the Hakim that's been pushing the truth, believing the truth across 4 corners of the earth. Also the Aqua that have been tuning in silence and listening and coming back to the righteousness of Yahawashi. And also, the honorable multitude, the hopeful elect, of course, with the honorable multitude, whoever they may be. That's few men, many women, and children who come back to listen to those 144,000 elect men, whoever they may be, to bring you this truth. Last days and last days, Lord, and we part of that number. So we're going to deal with some things. Basically, we're going to talk about how there is a shortage in the military in American Babylon the Great on all different sides. Now, there was a video that I seen from Elder Yahawah. He was showing this Edomite who was basically talking about the draft is coming. So we're going to watch this short video, and then we're going to get into the lesson. So let me start this back. Get this pulled up.
Hi folks, welcome to the Prepared Homestead. This is Travis. Thank you all for stopping by to watch. Well, are you ready for a draft? Not the kind that no, the kind that makes your children and young people go off to war. Now, I'm not on here to claim that's exactly what's happening, because it's not. There's no draft. Well, not yet. But it does appear that we are inching just a little bit closer to that. So Joe Biden issued an order to the military. Apparently, according to all the experts, he is the commander-in-chief. I mean, whether he's like it or not. Anyway, we're not going to go into that, because I know that's a heated topic for a lot of people. Unfortunately, though, he has issued an order to call up 3,000 reservists. 3,000 reservists to be sent over to Europe to fall under the European command, basically NATO. Okay, I mean, maybe not exactly, but basically NATO. So 3,000 troops of reservists, and this is where a lot of people, kind of tone out because they don't know what it means. Called up like 450. Basically, folks, and I'm just going to try to put it in the most plain civilian way possible. Guys that are pretty much out, and they're kind of have fulfilled their obligation, but yet they're still obligated to come back and serve if necessary. They call back up, and they call it back 400, 450 of those guys. So what that means is, and from what I can gather, and asking around from some of my veteran friends and things online, it appears what everyone believes is that these are mostly going to be senior NCOs or folks that have a very specialized areas, because they don't have a whole lot of that right now. They're needing to train a whole lot of recruits, and so they're calling up or calling back a lot of specialized trainers, senior NCOs, that sort, to do some training. Because
okay, so he said that he was calling them back to do some training, right? Well, that means what? That means that they're short. It means that they're very short on trainers. They're short on everything. Well, he's going to explain that a little bit more. Hold on.
450 or so. Why? Why is this being done? Well, in case you've been asleep for a while, just in the last few days and a couple of weeks, things have intensified when it comes to the relationship between NATO and Russia. The United States is sending cluster bombs. Cluster bombs are against the rules in about 100 different countries.
So, what does this mean? So they're sending cluster bombs, and it is against the rules of war in 100 different countries, right? So what does that mean? If maybe Babylon the Great's breaking the rules, guess what? They're the top country of the world. So if they're going to break the rules, how many more people are going to break the rules? I don't know, everybody. So there's going to be a lot of rules broken pretty soon.
And also, at one point in the past, Joe Biden criticized these cluster bombs, but we're sending cluster bombs to Ukraine to use against Russia because we've run out of ammunition. At least that's what Joe Biden said.
See? So we're sending cluster bombs because we ran out of ammo, and he was just talking shit about a year ago, talking about we're not sending no cluster bombs. We don't do that. That's unconstitutional against the conditions of war. But now since we out of ammo, we're going to send them over. What's that telling you, man? This place is wicked, man.
We've really just about run out of artillery shells, and so we got to send that over. Also, F-16s are going over. Now, this was one of those things, if you remember, it was just a few months ago. It was like, no, we're not sending F-16s over. Well, they are being sent. Some of them are from Europe. Eventually, they'll come from us, too. They're saying officially March 2024, but there's a lot of stuff online that says they'll probably be there by this fall, which is how things have been going so far. They'll give a projection date and when it's delivered, it's usually much faster than that. Abrams tanks also, they're already on their way, probably already there. We just don't really know yet. And also France and some other countries are sending long-range missiles. So the point is
so we're low on ammo and we're still sending shit. So what am I gonna tell you? We're gonna be damn near about out of ammo after this shit goes down. And this is just fighting Ukraine. He ain't talking about Russia. Niggas ain't talking about fighting China. You know, talking about fighting Iran. Yeah, we're fighting Russia over there. But what I'm trying to say is they're not talking about like when Russia has all the other nations say, here's our shit to help you. They're not gonna be ready. American Babylon the Great is not going to be ready for it.
Is that we, the West, NATO, is escalating. And Russia is saying, listen, you need to stop. You're crossing too many lines. Oh, get there. Puppy's all wet and wants to like, I'm talking. I know this. It's not playtime. Well, you're going to have to go play by yourself. You're all wet now. Anyways.
Hey, it says in the scriptures, if you got a beast, take care of your beast. You take care of the beast. You know you're doing it better. It's weird.
Russia, that's not the camera. Russia is kind of sick and tired of it. And it's not about whose side you're on. It's about facts. And Russia's been warning that this, especially the F-16s, are a major provocation because F-16s are capable of carrying nuclear warheads, unlike anything else that's been used in Ukraine. Also, Joe Biden has said that Ukraine must win, absolutely has to win. And NATO, although they didn't give any kind of specifications, they did give some security guarantees to Ukraine. So we are watching things escalate. Well, only the people that are paying attention are watching things escalate. The mainstream news media and the average person and even the average prepper aren't paying attention to it too much because it's been going on long enough now that everyone's lost interest in it. The fact remains is that it's still going on, and there could very well be some major escalation in the coming weeks due to all this. There could be some type of nuclear, detonation because of all this. There's still this concern about the power plants.
He ain't speaking prophecy. He's talking about there could be some kind of explosion. There's gonna be.
Yeah. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff that's going on. Most Americans, I think, have kind of forgotten about it. I mean, you don't even see too many people bragging about the Ukrainian flag and stuff. They've moved on to many other things now. Ukraine's just not popular anymore. It doesn't hold its popularity quite like the Kardashians. And so people have kind of lost interest, even at the latest NATO summit. Poor old Zelensky was just kind of standing there on stage by himself while everyone was hugging each other and slapping each other on the back. Poor little, small Zelensky was just kind of all alone. It's unfortunate. The American people are starting to get tired of it. At least some people. For others, they just don't care. Because there's too many other things to pay attention to. We have to pay attention to this stuff, folks, because it could very much escalate. You could certainly see within the realm of possibility of some type of conscription. A draft could certainly happen. Recruitment is way down. All the numbers are down. We absolutely.
All the numbers are down. Recruitment, MREs, they ain't got no good water. This is the kind of shit they got walkouts. So not let alone, and we're gonna pull up that article in just a second. Come on, who watching it?
We do not have enough fighting force, especially experienced, but certainly any kind of fighting force, to wage a full-scale war against Russia, and especially against China also. We just don't have it. Even many experts and military personnel have said that.
Look, all I'm saying is it ain't French over here. Ain't no we. It's them. School. This is civilians. Yeah, I know, but all I'm saying is it ain't no we, it's them. We're telling that them is gonna get murdered. We're not getting murdered because we're trusting the Yahawashi. Okay, we're not getting murdered. Okay, and the ones of us that do die is because some of us had to die for the word, but that's understandable. But those people are going to be crowned.
A conspiracy, tinfoil hat-minded wearing person saying that. It's just a fact. We don't have it. And so the very real likelihood that in the next months, year or two at the most, that we could see a draft, I think it's pretty high up there. We need to be stocking up. We need to be preparing.
And this shows the Esau Edom side of it. We need to start stocking up. We need to start preparing. But we're preparing in the spirit. We're preparing in the spirit of Yahawashi. That's all I want to put out. You know, he said in a month or two, the way it's looking, we know these Edomites are fleshly. What did he say? You know, this guy got 97.2 thousand subscribers. People been watching him. People been listening to him. So he's been doing this. You know, and he was saying that it's a real likely chance that there could be a draft in a couple months. But he also says as he goes on, it could be within 2 months to 2 years. But he doesn't know. We don't know because things change every day. So it's just a warning, you know. But the elders and apostles of Great Millstone have been warning these times to come for a long time, right? So here's an article to prove what he's saying is actually right? So it says riding bruises will pull up in 3,000 reserve troops to support NATO mission in Europe, and it's called Operation Atlantic Resolve, which was something that what's the name? Obama, he put into act in 2014 in case it needed to be used. Okay, so that's what this is talking about. Operation Atlantic Resolve. So we'll type it in real quick. What is put that in. Get back over here. So what is Operation Atlantic Resolve? Let me turn that down just a little bit. So what is Operation Atlantic Resolve? It's a small, okay. Operation Atlantic Resolve, though not a named operation, refers to military activities in response to Russian operations in Ukraine, mainly the war in Donbass, right? It was funded under the European Deterrence Initiative, so the DEI. In the wake of Russia's 2014 intervention in Ukraine, the U.S. and the U.K. took several immediate steps to enhance deterrence, caution a long-term to ease flank, blah, 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 blah. So they're initiating this, but it was set up in 2014, the last time Ukraine and Russia had problems. So this problem's been going on, but now it's in full-fledged, and they're over there blowing shit up every day. So this is how it's picked up. You know, we're at the end of this conflict. It's going to be a big conflict. So while that's going on, the whole operation, they've got 3,000 people. And they just said yesterday, they had them, this just the day before, They just had him on reserve, and they might be going over there. The day over, a day later, he signed it and said, "Look, they got to go over there. They go protect NATO." Because why? Because there was an article I did. I found maybe about a week ago, not even a week ago, that was talking about how the NATO nations over there are scared. They're basically worried, and they're asking America, Babylon the Great for guidance. But how you gonna ask America, Babylon the Great for guidance when they going through this? Fort Knox cadets taste Army life, walkouts, expired MREs, and water issues. So they don't even got no water. They don't have no water. They don't have none of that. Oh, hold on. I'll blow it up. There you go. There's no water. They ain't got no good food. It's all expired. And they got water issues. Look, Esau Edom like, fuck, man. We through. See? They through, man. They're not gonna make it, man. And that's why we had that other article where Esau Edom was talking about, it was actually Biden who said it. He said, God save the queen. Because this is like where they worship the queen of heaven. They worship women here. And that's why they looking now like, damn, we short on everything. We ain't got no men, we ain't got no water, we ain't got no food. And we out of ammo. Why is this saying? Because the other nations are tricking this place. Okay? They're taking everything and they're going in their own lands and they're doing their own shit now. They don't want to deal with the dollar. And that's why they're trying to push this MOTV, because they don't got no other choice. It's almost up. Time almost up. So I want to pull some precepts. Lord willing, I can finish the whole lesson. Lord willing, I can finish the whole lesson. And if I can't, I'm going to go do a part 2 after I get out of the plantation. Usually today I go to the plantation pretty early. So this is Proverbs chapter 16, verse 5. I got to be there all day. My weekends are always busy. I go do that. I get off, then I got to wake up, then I got to go fellowship with the brotherhood. Go do camp with the brotherhood of their ministry. And then, I get off, I get out of that, and then go right back to the plantation, and get out of that, and get back to the work. That's normally my weekend. Very, very busy. So Proverbs chapter 16, verse 5, right? And it reads, everyone that is proud in heart, you know how they say in the Marines, the few, the proud, the Marines, right? So who's the ones that are proud in the heart? The ones that had all the military power, which is America, Babylon the Great. They had all the weapons, they had all the food, they had all the supplies, right? Well, now they low. This is the Lord judging it right now. So everyone that is proud in heart is an abomination to the Lord. But it says, let favor be shown to the wicked. So they got favor for a time being, but now the Lord's going to take them out of the way because that time has been just about fulfilled. See? So though hand joined in hand, he shall not be unpunished. So they're going to get taken care of. At the end of the day, they're going to get taken care of. So this is one I really like bringing up, Jeremiah, because it's going on right now, a lot, Jeremiah chapter 49, this is going on. This is a big deal right now, and it's what we're seeing in real time. But World War III can't start until the MOTV is made mandatory. That's got to be made mandatory first, and then the MOTV can come. So Jeremiah chapter 49, verse 20. Therefore, hear the counsel of the Lord Yahawashi, Yahawashi, that he had taken against Edom, right? So-called white man, and his purposes. What was his purposes? Lying, trickery, witchcraft, deceitfulness. That he had purpose against the inhabitants of Edom. So he has a purpose, but there's a purpose why they have to be destroyed. And then it says, surely the least of the flocks shall draw them out was the elite, because the elites control both sides of the war. Surely he shall make that habitation desolate with them. And that's what's going to happen. They're going to get taken out. So 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 7 says this. So it says, 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 7, right? It says, for the mystery of inequity doeth already work. And who? The children of disobedience, which is 2/3 of our people. And then Esau, even the so-called white man, it works in them as well. You know? It's our people are just following them, right? So that's why it's working in them as well. They're the ones who don't want to obey the Lord to come back to the ways of Yahawah and Yahawashi. But mainly, the mystery of inequity is in Esau, even so-called white man, the other 16 nations, because they were never given the laws, and they will never follow them because they're not for them. So only he who now let it will let until he be taken out of the way. See, the Lord is going to take them out. We're not going to take them out. The Lord's going to take them out. The Lord's going to make them take out themselves, which is Russia and America, Babylon, and Great. Most of them are Edomites, you know. So that's what he's saying. He's going to make them take themselves out, and then he's going to finish out that work. Now, there's been a lot of talk, you know, especially with with new believers. They always say that, you know, they say, you know, it says in the scriptures not to follow men, right? Well, these types of men you're supposed to follow because these men have said this. These men have explained to you that this is not from us. This is from the Most High. So this is Galatians chapter 1, verse 10. And it reads, but now do I persuade men or the Most High, or do I seek to please men? For if I yet please men, should I not be a servant of a Mashiach? See, we're here to do this to please Yahawashi. And what is that? To feed the sheep sound doctrine. What's the sheep like? They just follow whatever the fuck they hear, right? But it said the real sheep, he said, my sheep know my voice. So when the Lord calls, Yahawashi calls for his real sheep, they don't hear it. They're gonna say, oh, that's him, you know, and they don't follow. You see? And that's why we follow. Verse 11. But I certify you, brethren, that the gospel which was preached of me is not after man. See? This came from Yahawashi. You know? This didn't come from us. And that's what the apostles, you know, back in that day were saying, the ones that's today. Verse 12, but neither I received it of men, neither was I taught it, but by the revelation. What does revelation mean? It means to reveal of Yahawashi Mashiach. We're going to look that up real quick. We're going to look up that word so you can see. So blue letter Bible, see, it had to be revealed unto you. You can't just get this truth. It has to be revealed unto you. And he says, if you get that truth, he says, don't just sit on it, use it rather. You know? He says, don't just sit there and not do nothing with it. So this is Galatians. But once you get it, you gotta start preparing to use it. You ain't gonna get a car that teach you how to fix it up and make it work, and then never use it. You gotta use it eventually. So this is Galatians chapter 1, verse 12. But it says also speak. It says eat the roll and then speak to the house of Israel, right? Well, when I first got into the truth, I started teaching before I got into reading the whole roll. But I remember listening to the elders and apostles, not the elders and apostles, but just the brother and Great Millstone, and he was talking about he was in the Florida camp. Okay, he was in the Florida camp, and he was talking about how whatever you got, whatever you learned, teach that. You know, whatever you learn, teach that and keep moving, because you don't want to just sit on that gift that he gave you. So right, for the revelation of Yahawashi Mashiach, right? So we're gonna go read that word revelation. Okay. So by the revelation of Yahawashi Mashiach, right?
Strong's G 602. Apocalypse.
Right? And it says appearing, coming, light, and manifestation be revealed. Revelation, see, it's a revealing. That's what revelation means, you reveal. See? Making naked so you can see it. A disclosure. This is a disclosure of the truth. Instruction concerning things before unknown. So what does that mean? The prophets before didn't understand what they were writing. And then when it came to the time for it to be revealed, the Lord revealed it unto those people. You know, the elect of Israel, whomever they may be, but not only revealed it to them, they had to keep that until the end and endure, and also feed the sheep sound doctrine, also do other things, you know, follow the commandments to the best of their abilities, keep studying, because when you study it, you watering your plant. Your plant will die off if you're not watering that plant. You know, views of events by which things or states of persons hitherto withdrawn from the view are made visible to all. See, manifesting appearance. So that's how we're able to tell Esau, he's so-called white man, and they get shaken up because they know, because this is the time to reveal it. See? So now we're going to go to Isaiah chapter 24, verse 3. And it reads, the land shall be utterly empty and utterly spoiled, for the Lord has spoken this word. So this is how we know this place is going to get taken out. The Lord spoken it. It's going to get destroyed, man. It's not going to make it, man. America, Babylon the Great is through, man. It's over with. This is a wrap, man. Verse 4. The earth mourneth and fadeth away. The world languisheth and fadeth away. The haughty people of the earth do languish, right? They're going to get taken out. Verse 5. The earth is also defiled unto the inhabitants thereof. Why, Lord? Because they have transgressed the laws, changed the ordinance, and broken the everlasting covenant. But who can break the everlasting covenant? Only the Israelites. So this is why the world is messed up, because we disobeyed Yahawah Yahawashi. But now he's calling the third of us back, and the rest is going to have to pay for this punishment for not coming back to Yahawah Yahawashi. You see? And we hope to be part of that number that endures that chastisement to the end, as the Lord keeps punishing us for what we did. Because he said he's going to punish the whole house of Israel. We all are going through things that the Lord's putting us through to show us that, hey, you better not turn against me again. We at that stage. If you had a wife and she cheated on you, and then she done went out in the world and found out that that wasn't where she's supposed to be, and she banging on the door saying, please let me in. Please let me come back in. That's where we at right now. We ain't even in there yet. Okay, we still fighting to get in there. Verse 6, therefore have the curse devoured the earth, and they that dwell therein are desolate. Therefore the inhabitants of the earth are burned, and few men left. It's going to be like that. Ain't people going to be no men left, because really the only men that really exist are the men of Yahawashi. Everybody else is going to perish, and their understanding is never going to exist for eternity. So they're not really even men. So Isaiah chapter 3, verse 25. There's very few men left out here, real men. You know? Ones who understand order, you know, and real true wisdom. So Isaiah chapter 3, verse 25, and this is what's happening right now. Everybody's starting to get into a fear of a draft, right? Well, it says, thy men shall fall by the sword, and thy mighty men in the war. See? They're going to fall by the sword. They're going to get destroyed, man. They're not going to make it out of this. So, okay, I got just a little bit more time. I might be able to finish. I'm going to try to finish. So right now, while that's happening, it says many countries bringing their gold home for safekeeping. So we don't have to get too much into it. But, you know, we'll just read a little bit. 85% of the 85 sovereign wealth funds and 57 central banks surveyed indicated that they think price inflation will be higher in the next decade than the last. They also expressed concern about the growing geopolitical tensions and the trajectory of the U.S. dollar. As a result, central bankers and sovereign wealth fund managers are fundamentally rethinking their strategies. Nearly 80% of the 142 institutions surveyed cited geopolitical tensions as the biggest risk over the next decade. 83% of cited inflation as a concern over the next 12 months. The funds of the central banks are now trying to get their grips with higher inflation. Invesco, instead of official institutions, Gross said, it's a big sea of change. So what's happening? They running off on the plug. They're leaving American Babylon the Great, and they're taking their shit over there because they know they're in prophecy, so it's going to get twerked. It's going to be over with. It's going to get jacked up. They're running. They should run. But they don't understand where it says the rest of them who run shall fall by the sword. Bahasham can send 144,000 like men. He's going to bust them up, and he's going to find Esau even wherever we at in this little cave or wherever we got hiding. We'll say, put them chains on, boy. Going in slavery. It's over with for their ass. They don't understand that yet, but that's okay. Isaiah. This is Isaiah chapter 13, verse 14. And another reason why I like write my precepts down and do my lessons is because it said that the spirit of the Lord coming to go. The spirit is like the wind. So when it come on me, I write it down. Because it might not be on me at another time, you know? I can't just access it when I want to. This is Isaiah chapter 13, verse 14, and it reads, "And it shall be as a chaste robe, and as a sheep that no man taketh up, that they shall every man turn to his own people, and flee everyone into his own land." See what they're doing right now. They going into their own land, but they know they can make better bread. They know this place ain't even got no damn food for them damn very military. They know this shit. If we at the bottom and we frying chicken every day, and we know they know. See what I'm saying? We know they know. We know they know. So this is Isaiah chapter 14, verse 1. And that's why the Lord said, flee from iniquity. Stop doing these types of things. And there was a lesson that Elder Menachem did in GMS South Carolina 777. They were talking about how basically these drugs is witchcraft. When you look at the word pharmakia, it means witchcraft. So all this stuff, when we smoking and selling drugs or whatever, even if you just smoking, it's a form of witchcraft. And the Lord said he would not suffer a witch to live. So this is why we got to stop doing this stuff. You got to get out of that shit, because if you don't get out of that shit, the Lord is going to have a reason to judge you. See what I'm saying? So it's got to eventually, you got to cut that shit off. There's got to be a time where you make a decision. One of you got to die. Remember I said in the Matrix, Neo went over there to the soothsayer, but it also says in the scriptures not to be a discerner of time, which means a fortune teller. So she was already going on. But that was just to show you that these people don't got no real knowledge. But what I'm trying to say is, if she had it right, she said, one of you got to die. It's got to be your flesh or your spirit. One of them is going to win. And you got to fight for the spirit. You got to fight for the flesh to die. You got to get rid of that old self. You know what I'm saying? Now, we part of the world, and we're going to have to do things to survive. And it also says in Ecclesiastes, he gave us, when we get money and stuff, we supposed to enjoy our money a little bit. You know, you go get you some wine or whatever, relax, have a good time a little bit. But really, we're not in that time for that anyway. Okay, the world finna go to shit. You don't want to just sit here and be trying to have a good time for what? 2 more months before everybody get drafted and get blown up possibly? That's not a good thing to be doing. You should be focusing on what? Salvation. You know what I'm saying? And that's why we say just consider it. Because after that, it's really on you after you hear shit. You see what I'm saying? Because this is all a thing that we all dealt with as coming into truth. You know, I used to smoke weed. We had brothers back. There's brothers that teachers that's been in truth way longer than me. They talk about they dealt with stuff like that. You know, hey, I'm just saying, like that's it's not something that we don't hide. It's an honor. We honest, you know, but it can be overcame. See, it can be overcome. So Isaiah chapter 14, verse 1, for the Lord will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel. See, He's gonna choose us. He's gonna have mercy on this and set them in their own land, and the strangers shall be joined with them. Who's the strangers? All the ones, when I say you so-called foreign Israelites that look like the other nations, those are the strangers, shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob. See, they're going to cleave to the body of Yahawah and Rawchaa, which we know is great millstone. Through discernment, we understand. That's the governing body of Yahawah and Rawchaa. And the foreigners cling unto them. And also all the other men, we cling unto them. You got other people who, there's another group called Men of Valor. They're not part of Great Millstone. Every time they get on their lessons, what do they say? Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. But this is who we got the truth from. They're the ones who carried this out for us, you know? And it started with One West, but One West started having some of their people go off. The elder apostle Tahar was the one who kept it going. And he didn't be like, oh, I'm just taking over them. No, he said, no, I'm keeping the truth going right here. I'm starting this and keeping it right here. You know, because it was taught a certain way, and the people who taught them started going off. So he had to do it this way. He said, no, this is what you said last time. It's got to be like this. You know, he started this as a child, man. He was young. Like I remember seeing one video he used to talk about when One West was a building. They had a building and they was teaching. Inside the building, it was like a school. And he was like, he said they gave him the keys to the back door and everything. And he would sleep on the ground in the school. He would just go sleep and wake up and be in the school. Like he was like, yeah, that's our elder apostle, man. You know? And that's what it says, like in the scriptures, it talks about how they first were disciples, which means they were learning, and then they became apostles. What? They were leaders. So it's a system in this thing. You know? Yeah, he's basically the top apostle of Great Millstone. He's the top of the top, man. And those are the men, they still out going to the highways and byways and teaching. All that time, yeah, they still going out to the highways and byways and teaching on a daily basis. So us as young men, we can't not be doing the work. We got to be putting in this work. As long as they've been in the truth, we got to be, showing the example as they showed the example, and not act disorderly in front of you either, because that's what they did. They didn't act misconductedly in front of us either. They acted in order in front of us. So we supposed to do the same and not be doing the same shit of the world. You know, can't be smoking weed, can't be doing none of that shit, man. Because if you keep doing that shit, it's basically like you basically, it's a hypocritical type of thing. See what I'm saying? I can't say I love the Lord and serve the Lord and then not do what he say do. That's why I said don't be hearers of the word and not doers of the word. You got to be a doer of the word as well to the best of your ability. And you know, some of the stuff we can't control, like we got to work on the Sabbath. Damn, we got to go work. We ain't going to just quit the job and shit and stop working. We got to work. Because it says that any man that doesn't provide for his own household is the infidel and might as well cast out the faith. So we know we got to work. So that's something that we can't control too much because we're in our captivity. But you can stop smoking weed. You can stop fucking your girl in the booty. There be people doing that. Yeah, there's people doing it. There's other camps. There's other camps saying you can sleep with your girl on the Sabbath and you can fuck her in the butt, man. That's what these other camps are doing, man. And that's why we don't deal with it. We deal with Great Millstone. We don't deal with these other camps because they're wicked, man, and they're paid off. They're paid off by Esau. You know, some of them we can prove, some of them we can't. But it doesn't matter. The way they say things, that's how we know. It said, "Ye shall know them by their fruits." Their doctrine. So Isaiah chapter 52 verse 3, because it says, "Don't profane it says don't profane the Sabbath days." So if it says it says keep those days sanctified, which means what? Don't do stuff on that day that you normally would do on another day. So sleeping with your wife, you know, it says that you're unclean to the evening. It's not a sin to sleep with to have sex with a woman, but it's unclean. And we're not supposed to show up at camp after having sex, and we're not supposed to show up. Also, you know what I'm saying, on the Sabbath, having sex the day before, because it's unclean to the Lord. He's like, your balls empty, bro. What the fuck going on? Your shit's supposed to be food. It's supposed to be man, full testosterone. We're supposed to present ourselves as men. This is a respect to Yahawashi. And they don't understand that. The other camps don't understand that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? See what I'm saying? So Isaiah chapter 52 verse 3, but thus saith the Lord Yahawashi, ye have sold yourselves for naught. See? And what did he say? What did the Lord say? Ye shall be redeemed without money. So we ain't got to worry about money over here. He's going to redeem us without money. So we don't need money. But we do need money in a sense. We need it for the time being. But whenever Jacob's struggle starts, money not going to be needed. It's going to be the spiritual understanding and spiritual power that's going to become the new currency. Okay? And prayer. Those are the things that are going to be our salvation in that time. There's going to be a physical situation that can't be overcame by anything you do in the physical. You know, it said all men's strength shall fail in that day. So Ecclesiastes, I know I went off a little bit, started talking about something else, but you know, Lord is the Spirit. So Ecclesiastes chapter 7, verse 12. Okay, hold up. Ecclesiastes chapter 7, verse 12. And it reads, for wisdom is a defense, right? Wisdom is a defense, and money is a defense. Hey, cut it out. For wisdom is a defense, and money is a defense. But the excellency of knowledge is that wisdom giveth light to them that have it. So it says we shall live by only the word of the bread and water of this word alone. So yeah, you can have money and stuff like that, but it's not going to save you in the end. It's not going to bring you salvation. It's not going to bring you understanding and wisdom. Only this truth can. You know? So, you know, I went in a little bit, but we're going to pull up a couple more precepts and I'm trying to get out of here. So right here, we've read it plenty of times. It talks about, it says BRICS Summit. It says 22 countries should join BRICS Alliance in August Summit, right? Well, it says the vital gathering of 3 weeks away, 22 countries proceed their heads of state gather at the BRICS Summit, okay? And to take place in Johannesburg. Indeed, the gathering will arrive at the economic bloc is expected to set guidelines for its expansion. So they're coming to say, how are we getting in? What's the guidelines of us getting into the BRICS? 22 nations, 22 countries. So when you look at Ezekiel chapter 38, verse 4 through 8, it talks about how they're all going to be a guard unto Russia. And that's what's happening right now. 3 weeks, this is going to go down. Now, I wanted to read the precept about it, but I've read it a lot of times. So I just want to go to Isaiah chapter 13, verse 7 to speed this up. I've read it a lot of times and expressed it in a lot of my videos. You know, but that's what it's talking about. So Isaiah chapter 13, verse 7, and it reads, therefore shall all hands be faint, and every man's heart shall melt. So after all these people get together and they put in together their alliances, those intercontinental missiles can come this way, because it says in Ezekiel chapter 38, verse 10, it says all of them shall think an evil thought, which is what? To destroy this place. So now we're going to go to verse 17, and it reads, behold, I will store up the Medes, which is who? The Russians. That's the Russians in the Bible. And also Gog and Magog. So the Medes is Russian. Against them, which shall not regard silver. And as for gold, they shall not delight in it. Why? Because they gonna have most of their own shit. They ain't no gold, ain't gonna be no way to buy them out of this. Ain't gonna be no way to just be like, well, we got money, we can give you some money and you can chill out on it. There ain't gonna be none of that. They're gonna be like, no, fuck that. We got our own money. We wanna see all motherfuckers gone. That's that evil thought that's gonna come across these other nations. You see? So that's what's gonna go down. Now, I got one more, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make a short part 2 because this goes into a lot, you know, and I'm just about out of time. Well, I might try to pull up a little bit. I ain't got too many precepts. So it says right here, it says a researcher says the expansion of the universe is just a mirage, right? They said it's a mirage. They can't even see the truth, but they know, they feel like that the universe is just a mirage. They just seeing shit. Well, that's how they feel with the Lord. They be like, well, he just seeing shit. No, man. Well, we're gonna see. 7 decades, they can't even get past the ozone layer. They talking about the earth, the space is just a mirage. Because they carnal minded, they can't see in the spirit. They can't see past this world. They bound him forever. For decades, scientists have discerned the universe is not only expanding but accelerating, right? All this time. It says, but this editing doesn't always square with models. So that's what they trust in. They trust in their models and their carnal means of explaining things. They don't have no spirit. You see? And see, look, it says a new paper from a researcher of the University of Geneva goes back to the drawing board and proposes a new idea. See, it's just an idea that our perception of an expanding universe can be a mirage. It's a mirage to them because the universe wasn't given to them. You see? So when you go over here to John 3:16, right? It says, for the Most High so loved the world, right? But it says anybody who's a friend of the world is an enemy to the Most High. So what world is he talking about? The world of Israel. For the Most High so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son. For what? For Israel. So whoever believes in him should not perish, but have everlasting life. So we're going to go into this word, right? So love the world, right? It goes into this word cosmos, or cosmos.
Strong's G 2889. Cosmos.
See?
Cosmos.
Or it sounds a little bit like cosmos, right? It says the act in a harmonious arrangement or constitution, order, government. See? Ornament, decoration, adornment, the arrangement of the stars. See? We're stars walking on the ground. We're the universe walking on the ground. The heavenly host as the ornament of the heavens, the world, the universe. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, but it's talking about the Israel. The Israelites. That's what it's talking about. That's why it says the heavenly host. It says he hated sinners. So some people are not of the heavenly host because they're meant to do what? Simple shit. That's why they're doing it. And we're going out and pointing them out for it. See what I'm saying? But see right here, it says the ungodly multitude, the whole mass of men alienated from the Most High, and therefore hostile to the cause of Mashiach. That's 2/3 of our people. But they're still going to come back. They're still going to come back to the truth. After they perish here, they're going to come back. You know, but we hope to be part of the elect, the third of Israel. So now we're going to go over here. And that's what the Christians always try to do. They always try to be like, well, it says men, all of men. Okay, well, why does it say this right here? Second entrance. Chapter 5. I believe it's verse 56. Hold on. It's this second entrance. We know Adam was the first one who had made all the people, right? He's the one who birthed everyone. He's the first man, right? Watch this. 2 Ezra chapter 6, verse 56. I was off a couple of scriptures. And it reads, hold on. As for the other people, which also come of Adam, thou hast said that they are nothing, but be like unto spittle, and hast likened the abundance of them unto a drop that falleth from a vessel. So they had dropped from a bucket of water. There's no meaning to them other than to be taken and destroyed. That's it. They're not talking about them. That's why he said, anyone who's a friend of the world is the enemy of the world. That's why I said there's a call the multitude to do evil in Exodus. It's only talking about the Israelites. When he talks about the world that he came for the world of Israel, the 12 lost tribes of Israel. That's it. That's why even Peter said, I didn't come to speak to the Gentiles. I came to the lost sheep of Israel. I came to speak to them. Now here's something, everybody. This is 1 Corinthians. First Corinthians chapter 2, verse 9. And it reads, as it is written, which means in the Old Testament, I have not seen nor ear heard, neither have entered into the heart of man, which is the mind, the things which the Most High have prepared for them that love him. So these are the things that he prepared of us, the universe. That's why they can't see it. That's why they think it's a mirage, because it's not for them to see. It's not for them to understand. We don't even know what's out there in the universe, but we know it's us, and we know it keeps expanding. We know that because the Lord is infinite. He never stops. This is true. You can always learn something in the truth. It's infinite for those who can see. Verse 10, for the Most High have revealed them unto us by his Spirit. See, by his Spirit. For the Spirit searcheth all things, yea, the deep things of the Most High. So we don't know everything, but we do know what he told us. See? Which is that's what makes 100% true. What he told us is what we know. Verse 11, for what man knoweth the things of a man? For what man knoweth the things of a man, save the spirit of a man which is in him? No, it don't save it. Man, whatever we think, that don't save us. Even so, the things of the Most High knoweth no man but the Spirit of the Most High. That's what saves the Spirit of the Most High. See? So now we're going to do John 21:25. I got a couple more precepts on down. And it reads, and there are also many other things which Yahawashi did, which, if they should be written, every one, I suppose that even the world itself could not contain the books that should be written. Amen. So he did so much more stuff that couldn't even be written about. They just wrote about the stuff that we needed to know. That's what amen. It's Amen. Yeah. Because there's no E in Paleo Hebrew. It's Amen. See? So we got 2 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 3. And it reads, but if our gospel be hid, it is hid to them that are lost. So the ones that can't understand, they can't see. In whom the God of this world, he saw even so-called white man, have blinded the minds of them which believe not, lest the light of the glorious gospel of Mashiach, which is Christ of Paleo Hebrew, who is the image of the Most High, should shine unto them. See? It's not going to shine unto them. They're not going to understand. It's a mirage. They think it's a delusion, a diversion. But no, this is the word of Yahawah and Rawchaa. And it's the only thing that matters. In 2 Peter chapter 1, verse 9, I'm done. And it reads, but he that lacketh these things is blind and cannot see afar off. So it says that if you can't even see the truth, you can't see afar off. So how can they see in space that it's a mirage? And have forgotten that he was purged from his old sin. See? They can't see. They can't understand that the Lord has done what he did on the cross for us to repent, and so our sins could be forgiven. You see? That's why he had to do that. So that's it for this lesson. The Lord willing, it was edifying. To the flock, I want to give all praises to Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Qadash. I want to give double honors to the elders and apostles of great millstone. Let me see the truth and ordained by the Lord to teach the flock. I live, repent, pray, fast, and show forth the Lord's righteousness and mercy, judgment, forgiveness, and wrath. All those who are part of the elect and hopeful elect, Lord, will be part of that number. Lord, willing to be edifying those who pray in the name of the Lord and the child and show forth the Lord's righteousness every day to the best of their abilities. His judgment always comes to light. Zephaniah chapter 3, verse 5. It is not slack. 2 Peter chapter 3, verse 9 is unto a ring. 2 Ezra chapter 5, verse 42. Wow, about the ball. The water for tuning in. Lord willing, we can be part of that number. Lord willing, we'll make it out of here soon. Everything kicks off. We can go live forever with Yahawashi and Yahawashi. Shalom.